Hey everybody, this is Matt. This is another series of videos I'm going to do. I'm going to start reviewing cards from different sets. This review is going to be about Evo Fury, and I'm going to start with the light commons. The first card I'm going to review, and I'll post the card art. Post the card up here. Is Chasm Entangler. It's a one cost creature. I really like one cost creatures because it makes your first turn that much more useful when you can put something out on the first turn. And I mean, whether it's a blocker, attacker, whatever, it's really nice to have a one cost creature like this. It's a blocker. It's a 2000 blocker, which is nice. It could be better, but it could definitely be worse. I mean, it could be a 1000 blocker. I mean, it literally would lose to almost any battle. Um, but being 2000 means that it can stop a Blaze Belcher on the first turn, which is really interesting. I love my Blaze Belcher. I mean, I really, really do. I mean, I love that card. But, I mean, I put down a Blaze Belcher on my first turn. The opponent puts down a Chasm Entangler on their first turn. Well, my Blaze Belcher's dead. Regardless of the way you look at it, it's dead because I have to attack on my next turn, and Chasm Entangler blocks and banishes in it. It can also go one for one with the Prickleback. I mean, they can both destroy each other. The Prickleback is really useful because the Prickleback can evolve into a Bronze Arm Sabretooth really quickly. So, I mean, it's nice being able to block it with a Chasm Entangler. Not only that, but the Chasm Entangler is a Skirmisher, meaning that he could even attack the Prickleback if the Prickleback has perhaps attacked somebody the turn before, or I don't know, something, or if you're able to tap it with something, I mean, on your second turn, you could play a let's see, I think it's called a Sun-Stalk. On your second turn, you could play a Sun-Stalk, and you could tap the Prickleback, and you could attack it and trade it. You could banish both creatures, on your second turn. That would hurt the nature deck, I think. It's an enforcer creature, meaning that it can evolve into whole lots of different creatures. It can evolve into the uncommon Halon Paragon of Light. I personally like that card. It's a really powerful double breaker. It can evolve into Sparkblade Protector, which is a league promo, which I haven't got personally, but it's looking pretty good. It can evolve into Cobalt the Storm Knight, which is a very rare from Evo Fury that allows you to, when it comes into play, lay an extra shield card, which is fantastic. It has really good Enforcer evolution options, and it's just it just makes the card that much better. The picture is kind of confusing. I don't know what to look at. It kind of looks like a snail, kinda. I don't know what I'm looking at really. But overall, it's a great card. I think it's a backbone to many light decks, especially if you're looking to evolve it into an enforcer. I mean, it's, in my opinion, the best enforcer bait in the game right now, and it's a common. I mean, that's great. So definitely, I think it's a fantastic card. I'm not going to give it any kind of star rating or anything. It's a really good card, though. The second card, change image, is Cloudwalker Drone, which is a 2-cost creature. It has 1500 attack power, which is it's all right. It could be a lot better. I mean, 2 for 2000 would probably be preferable. 2 for 3000 would be great. But then you'd be like in fire territory there. It's an okay attacker, but think about that. Think what I just said. I said it's an okay attacker. It can swing for shields. A lot of the light cards can't do that. I mean, well, if you're looking for the blockers, a lot of the light cards can't do that because a lot of them have Skirmisher. This one doesn't have that, so it can actually swing for shields, which is not bad. I mean, if you're going first and you laid it on your second turn, your opponent may not have a turn to creature to block it. So you may be on your third turn, may be able, if you're going first, to swing for a shield with it, which is great. It has a possible plus 1000 power if another enforcer is in play. So heck, I mean, if you go turn 1 Chasm Entangler into a turn 2 Cloudwalker Drone, you now have a turn 2 2500. Now that's pretty decent. That's pretty decent. Much like Chasm Entangler, it's an enforcer, meaning that it can evolve into Cobalt, Halon, Sparkblade Protector. I mean, it has some really good evolution options. Overall, it's kind of generic, but I think it has a useful effect, and it's definitely useful for evolution purposes. It's definitely useful for that. In my opinion, it's number 2 on the list of cards that you want to put in your deck so you can evolve it into Enforcer evolutions. So, but I do think, you know, I maybe don't play this card because I think maybe the better turn 2 drop, at least for a slightly defensive deck, is a Sun-Stalk Seed, which is a 3000 blocker. Now, you can't evolve the Sun-Stalk Seed into an Enforcer evolution, but a 3000 blocker is pretty useful on turn 2 because it'll stop the majority of the threats, I feel. But I think, a Cloudwalker Drone has its uses, and definitely for like a speedy light deck, you definitely want to play it to try to get out that evolutions quickly. So the third card we're looking at today is Helios Rings, which is a 5-cost spell. Right off the bat, you're looking at it, you're going, wow, it's a shield blast. May all your shields be blasts, I think shield blast is awesome. It's whenever I'm looking at my spells, I'm comparing 2 spells or I'm comparing all my spells, the ones with shield blasts automatically take a step ahead of the ones without it because it's so useful. I mean, if you draw into it, it's too costly, play it as mana. But if somebody breaks one of your shields and pops it, boom, I mean that's a free use. I mean, unless it's like just super useless or something, they've just tapped everything already. I mean, you should use it. I mean, seriously, it's okay. Let's get to its effect though. Its effect is you can tap up to 2 enemy creatures. It's pretty useful. I mean, I definitely think mid to late game it's super useful, where every shield is the difference between win and loss. Being able to tap 2 enemy creatures means that the opponent attacks with their first one. They may have 3 or 4 threats. They attack with their first creature. They've already done it in their head. Okay, well if I attack, I can take out 3 shields and then swing with the last one for the win. That Helios Rings just like screws it all up. I mean, it just screws it all up. It's like, oh, there goes your 2 double breakers. That just like ruins the whole turn. Not only do you tapping them, they get no effect that turn, but then on your next turn you can attack them. I mean, you could use that even offensively. Like, you could use it offensively in 2 different ways. You could use it offensively to tap their blockers, and then you could swing straight through to their shields. Or you could use it defensively if they don't have any other blockers in play to tap 2 of their newer creatures and banish them in battle before they can even use them on their next turn. So I mean, it has its uses. I think the 5 cost is a little bit high because if you compare it to something like Sun-Stalk, which only costs 2, which is also a shield blast, but only taps 1 enemy creature, the ratio is kind of off. I mean, you get double the effect for a little bit more than double the cost, but it only takes up 1 card in your deck. So, I mean, I guess it kind of balances out. I mean, one could argue its net effective use, but I think it has its use. It doesn't blow me away, but I think it does have its use, and I'm sure it could kick my butt just as allow me to help win me against some games. So I think it's a great card, and it's a common, meaning that it's so easy to get. I mean, the last card we're going to review today is Photon Squad, which is a 3-cost creature. It is a Storm Patrol creature, which currently isn't that useful for evolution purposes. But you never know when there could be other evolutions. So I mean that's why you never want to undersell a card because they could always get better in the future, especially a 3-cost creature. That's right in the range of where it's like this could be acceptable for evolution purposes. You know what I'm saying? It's 3 for 3,000, 3,000 power. It's decent. That's on the curve. I mean, I think I can't really complain about that. It can swing for shields, which is nice. If you're compared to other decks on your turn 3, if you're going second, well, you can't attack with it. If you're going on your 4th turn, after you've played it, if you're going first, you may be facing things like, you know, who knows? I think the 3000 is maybe a little bit above the curve on a turn 3. So, it's pretty decent. I think overall, though, you know, some people say, well, you know, there has to be bad cards to be good cards. I don't think there's no, I don't think there's such thing as a useless card. I just don't believe in that. I think this card is weaker than some other cards in the game, but you know there has to be cards that are weaker because if every card was amazing, then people would still figure out well like this one's a little bit more amazing than this one. You know, I mean, there's always going to be something better than it. Overall, I think it has its use. I maybe wouldn't play it that much, but I think it has its use. I wouldn't like scoff at somebody that plays it. And it could beat me any day of the week. So I mean, who knows what'll happen in a game of Kaijudo, you know? So those are the 4 common light comments from Evo Fury. The next video will have the other commons from another civilization from Evo Fury. I hope you liked this video. I hope it was informative. I hope you learned something from it. If it was a trick or a comparison or something, that's the only reason I'm doing this video because I'm hoping to inform people, especially new players, on a great set, some great cards, and a great game. That's Kaijudo, a great game. So, thank you for watching. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please leave them in the comments below. If you like this video, you can give it a thumbs up. You know, thumbs up, everybody. If you like my channel, you can subscribe to it. I thank you very much for that. Thank you for watching, and have a nice day. Kaijudo rules!